Welcome back to another episode of Harmonious at Lunch, the show that fuels your business success. I'm Brandon and Gano, your host and guide through the world of harmonious business growth. Today, we're unlocking powerful strategies with industry experts to help your business thrive. If you're a business owner, entrepreneur, or executive, you are in the right place. Join me and our incredible guests today on the journey to clarity, growth, and success. It is time to revolutionize your approach to business. Let's dive in with another episode of Harmonious at Lunch. We got more harmonious. We're back with an amazing guest. I always start this show by saying this is your bite-sized business advice because it's supposed to be short, quick, actionable. And today we might be talking about food and business, slow food versus fast food. And what does that have to do with your business? I'm super excited to dive in. We're going to take a totally different look about how you intentionally grow your business with my guest, Cera from Intuitive Edge Coaching. So Cera, first and foremost, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. This is so fun. And thank you for biting on, it's going to be a lot of food jokes. Thank you for biting on my fun topic proposal.
Let's see how many food puns we can work in. And if you're listening or watching, wherever you are, put them in the comment. Keep count, keep track of how many stupid jokes we make, and just put a number in the comments. Anyway, no, but I'm excited to dive in. So I was reading the topic you put in for the episode, and you said we're going to talk about the difference between slow food and fast food and how you should be growing your business, kind of like the slow food movement. So can you let's paint the picture. Can you paint the difference between slow food and fast food and how that relates to business?
Yeah, I can. So I had to look this up because I'm from the Bay Area, California, and one of our most famous restaurants is Chez Panisse, right? And that's a farm to table, slow dining experience. So I knew the term slow food and the slow food movement, but I don't know if I really knew what it meant. And so the slow food movement was created by an Italian dude in Italy in the 80s, and it was in direct response to fast food. And he felt like fast food was ruining food culture. And especially, you think about Italian food culture, like that's a big part of the culture. And so the idea of meals being seasonal and delicious and designed to be an event that takes a while, and you're gathering with your friends and family, and you're putting all of this like love and attention into it. And the principles of slow food, I actually find this really interesting. The principles of slow food is that the food needs to be good, clean, and fair. And so I think that this is really important because with fast food, nobody really cares if the food is the marketing looks good, but we all know if you see the marketing for like a burger and then you get the burger, it never really looks like the marketing. So it's like medium good. It's like satisfies you because it's super salty, but it's not really good quality food. Definitely probably not clean because it's been frozen. It's full of preservatives. It's not fresh. It's not farm to table. And then probably not fair to the farmers, probably not fair to the workers at that restaurant. So you're getting food, but is it a holistically good experience? Maybe not. This is not villainizing fast food. Everyone needs their 2 a.m. Jack in the Box now and again. But it's not the same experience. And so I just started looking at what I see happening in business marketing for coaching for my industry. And I tell people all the time, I could make so much more money if I would lie to you. And if I would tell you that I can promise that in, 1 weekend of working with me, you're going to have a 7-figure business. And next week, you're going to be laying on a yacht while payment notifications roll in. But it's not true. And all of that glossy marketing, that business is fast, that it can be fast, that it should be fast, that fast, miraculous results are both possible and common, do a huge disservice to people who don't know anything about business, because we just don't know what we don't know. If you didn't go to business school and you have no one really working with you, you see this marketing and you're like, okay, well, this person says that I can have an online business set up in a matter of a few days and that I'm going to be making money by the end of the week. So I'm going to give them a bunch of money. I'm going to buy into this thing. You go in and you get a course where the marketing was glossy and seductive, but when you get in there, it might look a little shrunken, might look a little fast food burgerish, might not have in it what you were promised, might be a little fluff, and you don't get those results. And so you end up thinking, I must be doing something wrong, right? There must be something wrong with me that I didn't get these fast results. And the truth is the marketing is predatory and it's just not true. And so what I think is interesting about the slow food movement was that it wasn't just in opposition to fast food, but they really tried to make it sexy and attractive and like an experience, to pay a little extra, to make it take a little longer, to bring the idea that like we're building something to last. That's not just good. It's good. It's going to be good for you. It's going to be good for the people around you. It's good for the planet. This is a net positive experience. And when we bring that approach to building businesses, yeah, it's going to take a little longer. But if your goal is to build a business that you want to run for the next decade, why does it matter if it takes a little longer to set it up correctly and to make it something that you love being in, that's good for you? It's good for your nervous system. It's good for your body. You're not going to burn yourself out. It's good for your family and the people around you. It's going to yield positive results. You're going to be able to deliver well to your clients. To make it attractive for it to just take a little longer.
It's so powerful, and it's a great analogy too, because you can picture opening the McDonald's hamburger box and being like, that is not the ad I saw on my phone. Like it'll like maybe fill me up for 5 minutes, but it is not what I was promised. But then I think the other side of this is also very dangerous in terms of business. And I want to hear your thoughts on this too, because this is what I see a lot of people gravitate to. It's the quick money, the fast food money, right? Obviously a lie in every single case. There, you get the few poster children who sell the lie and perpetuate it. But then the narrative becomes, well, in order for people to perceive you as an expert, you just need to raise your prices. And here's the continuation of the food analogy that I want to dive into. I'm a steak nerd. Like I love a really good ribeye. I promise you, I'm going to put myself up against anybody in the world and I would cook the best ribeye. That's me being very arrogant. I'm sorry. But I've been to a number of really expensive steakhouses where the steak was trash. And we're talking like $150 a plate meals. And I just left disappointed. And I see that in business. Yeah, right. Swatting the plates away. I don't say anything because I'm very kind and reserved, but I leave feeling like empty. Like, oh, why did I even waste my time on that? But I see that in the coaching industry, in the business world, is just raise your prices so people think they have a better experience. Talk to me about how that side of food, if you will, and business and charging more for a service without the experience and without the quality product is equally, if not more damaging than the fast food side.
Oh, it's the worst. I think something that like is really hard for us to grapple with is accepting that in every industry, people can be predatory and gross. And I think in the personal development world, in the business coaching world, a lot of the time we think like this is someone who's positioning themselves as someone who's here to help. And so I believe them. And there's also, I see as there's a term, it's called benevolent sexism. I think a lot of women coaches and femmes, like pretty women, get away with certain things because they're pretty. And like, because like there is a sexism that says like, I don't look at a pretty woman and assume she's scamming me, which like on one hand, like good for pretty women out there, get your bag, scam away. But on the other hand, like I've fallen victim to coach marketing where I'm like, I just looked at this person and she looked beautiful and kind, and she's really presenting herself as someone who's here to help. And it did not occur to me that this was a wolf in sheep's clothing. It did not occur to me that this was a predatory industry. We think about casinos and we're like, well, yeah, that's a predatory industry. No, like, unfortunately, every industry has people in it, and people are a mixed bag, and some of them are willing to be predatory. And so I think it's like, first of all, just like allowing ourselves to sit with what I feel is like it's grief, almost like allowing yourself to be sad and disappointed that you even have to think like that, but you do. And I hate to put this consumer responsibility on us, but like when we understand that anybody in any market can be predatory, also start to think about there's certain marketing tactics, right? Because it's all marketing is all psychology. It's designed to kind of get us into a heightened state and to buy from a place of arousal, to look at like, how am I feeling when I look at this person's marketing? Am I getting all this FOMO? Is my body actually like getting jacked up? Do I feel nervous? Do I feel like if I don't buy this, something bad's going to happen? Do I feel like I'm being left out of something? Like, what is this arousing in me? And am I being like it's like when you're watching a movie and they play a scary or a sad song, right? It's designed to elicit a response. And so to check yourself of like, does this program page actually tell me any solid outcomes of what I'm going to get? Or am I just getting like whipped into a state of excitement about like being in this person's energy? Go talk to other people who have worked with this person. Literally ask if you can talk to previous clients. And if they won't let you, that's a weird red flag.
And not the ones that are the testimonials.
Yeah, talk to other people you've worked with. Here's another thing. Take those testimonials, and if they say a person's full name or the name of their business, go Google it and see if those businesses are still open. A lot of them are not. So, or they're fake. They're just fully made up. And like, I hate that we have to do that. I hate that we have to think about like buyer beware with this industry. But I think once we accept that there are people out there like that who are willing to con us out of money and promise us that they're going to help us with things, but they really are just there to collect a check, and they have some kind of weird ironclad service agreement that says that there are no guarantees and no refunds and no money back, and you can't get out of your payment plans, and they'll block you. Like, I hear horror stories of just terrible behavior. And so I think it's incredibly damaging. And then for those of us out here who are doing good work, it also makes our work so much harder because we get the clients who have been burned by those people on the back end, who like their business is in shambles. They need help, but now they're scared to invest because they're afraid to be scammed again. And it just makes it so much harder for those of us who are genuinely out here trying to help people and do good work.
Or maybe they can't too. I actually talked to somebody the other day who, just like what you said, the product that we offer, it comes with, we'll get into that in a second, so many guarantees and like super easy to get your money back because I can't stand this stuff. But she said she was locked in a current agreement for, it was like going to cost $1,500 to even get out of it or break it. And it was impossible to get away from this company. Like they had basically chained her to the contract. And I'm like, who is that serving? Because that person is leaving with a terrible taste in their mouth, a bad review for you. And you could have damaged them to the point of them losing everything and going out of business. Like in some cases, people invest their last dollar because the promises are so big. And it's like, it's absurd that people can get away with this.
This loops us back, I think, to the slow food, fast food thing, because the difference is the business model. The business model for the people who will lock you into a contract and they don't give a fuck about your customer experience are their volume. They're looking for volume. They're running $1 million worth of ads a year. They're just bringing people in. They don't care if you buy from them one time, get nothing out of it, and leave with a bad taste in your mouth. You're a speed bump to them on their race to the top. For my business, many of my clients have been with me for years. I have people who started their business with me in my low ticket membership, built and established their business in my low ticket membership, stayed in the membership just to get group coaching when they needed it, then like took some time off, then came back and did a one-on-one coaching, and then went for a while. And then like I have a client this week, I'm doing a CEO day with a client who I did a private 6-month package with her 3 years ago. And she's come back every year and done a CEO day when she wants to go back over her plans, right? So it's like, when you're thinking about building a business that's designed to last, you're thinking about customer experience. You're thinking about relationships. You're thinking about the fact that it is so much cheaper to keep a customer than to gain a new one. You're thinking about having people who can grow with you and be with you for the long term, and that every single person you work with is now a positive billboard for the experience of working with you. But when you're in business and you're like, I don't care, send me another one, right? It's all digital, it's all automated, bring them in. You never actually see the coach that you signed up to work with. You're always with some kind of support coaching person, right? Like they just don't care. And that's brutal.
It's totally wild. So I want to hear I want to hear how you structure your offers and how you get people through your, through the different membership levels that you have, because we all have different products and services. And I want to say this too, because we took this into account very heavily, because this industry, as you've alluded to, is very scammy. It's very shiny and overpromised. So we intentionally said, what is like the most ridiculous refund policy that we could have to guarantee that we either get you results or you leave happy if you have to leave. So we have two like non-negotiable refunds: 15 days, no questions asked. We won't even ask you why. We'll just refund it. And then at the end of the 90-day period, if we don't get the results that we have outlined in the contract with you, again, no questions asked. We either work for you for free until we get it, or again, we refund you, no questions asked. So I'm curious what you kind of do in that scenario of setting up contracts so the customer wins, or setting up programs, and how do you navigate getting them through your products to the higher level products to get them bigger results?
Yeah, I love this question. So I created a framework called elemental entrepreneurship, tying back into the slow food thing. I think I've been cooking on this for a
Yeah,
long
we got one.
because I teach business through the elements. So the earth, air, fire, water, spirit elements of business. And I talk all the time about how like your business is less like a to-do list that you check off, right? Like so many people are like, I got to do all this stuff. You're like, you won't have anything to do tomorrow. Like the goal is to actually work in your business. So like it's not a to-do list you check off. It's a garden you tend. You plant it and then you grow with it for a long period of time. And we need all of the elements of the garden in balance for things to grow the way that we want them to. So I used to teach elemental entrepreneurship as a 6-month live group coaching container, and that helped people establish their businesses. I shifted that into a membership framework a couple years ago, mostly because, as we all know, teaching the same thing over and over and over doesn't stay that fun. And so once I had really locked the format in, I turned it into courses. And the course is designed from the perspective of, if somebody came to me and said, I have an idea for a business and that's all I have, how would I take them from there to annual 6 figures? And I started building. And everything that I did with my private clients, everything that I did in my own business, I created a course for it. So it takes you through like filing your paperwork to establish your business, to like getting your contracts in place, all the way up through hiring and firing your first team members. Like, it was very extensive. And then they get that course material, they get bi-weekly group coaching with me. And so even when I started that, it was either an annual membership or a monthly membership. I wanted to make it even more compelling, because what I found a couple years into running it is, especially at the beginning, there'd be things like, oh, I had a parent get sick. I had to take 2 months off my business. And so I lost 2 months of my membership. Can I come back in? But always in the membership, if people would be like, can I pause my payments? Absolutely. We're never going to tell you no. We're never going to tell you you're on the hook to keep paying monthly for something. If you're like, hey, my dad's sick and I have to go out of town for 3 months, we'll be like, we'll check in with you in June. Paused. Like, no questions asked. We're never going to keep people on the hook for money that they can't use. Same thing with annual. We had people be like, hey, I have to take some time away. Can I come back and not lose that time? Absolutely. We'll extend. It's okay. And we've never had anyone abuse it. I've never had anybody I felt was taking advantage of that. Like, we're here to work with people. But I decided that it wasn't enough to give it annual or monthly. And so this year we made the program lifetime. So people sign up, they can pay once and they're in it for life. You get lifetime access to the courses. You can come to the group coaching. And I do that because I genuinely believe the beginning stages of business are the hardest, and they can take a really long time. Like the transition period it takes to learn everything you need to know about business, and then maybe like transition out of your day job. It might take you 6 months, but it also could take a year or more for that to happen for you. And so you need that support. I also think you need community, because for so many people, if no one you know is an entrepreneur, it's really hard, because you just have no one to talk to, or everyone you talk to is like, aren't you scared? What about your job? Your job is so good. Like, you need people around who are like, fuck that job. Like, start your business. You need like the right community. So I have people who have gotten in and stayed just to be able to like keep the peers connection. So you can scale through, you can start and you can get pretty solid just through elemental entrepreneurship. The new offering that you just put up on the screen is called Powerhouse. And Powerhouse is a brand new mastermind I'm beta testing. So if you get on Powerhouse right now, it's insane. It's $5,000 for an entire year of support. It's going to be a very small group, but I want to beta test this group. My other pet peeve in the coaching industry, a lot of times people say it's a mastermind, but it's actually group coaching. This is it is a little bit of a hybrid. There's one group coaching call a month and there's one actual mastermind call a month, and it is an application only. It is designed to be a genuine meeting of the minds of real powerhouses. But this is for my mid-level clients, people who come to me where their business is pretty established, but they built it in one of two ways. One, they got some coach or some mentor who told them what to do. They did exactly what their coach or their mentor said, and it worked, but they don't like it. They feel stressed out. They feel overwhelmed. They're working all the time to keep things afloat. It doesn't feel sustainable. It doesn't feel like them. And they almost feel uncomfortable with like what they really want to do. They're like, can I do it that way? There's like, they're afraid that if they do it the way they really want to do it, they might lose their clients. They're afraid to pivot, right? So there's that. And then the other thing I see a lot is people who they started their business like I did because they were just like, I need to sell something because I have to make money. And they started selling and it worked, but then they built themselves something that, again, it doesn't reflect who they are. They don't necessarily love it. They are the bottleneck in their business. They're resisting marketing their next product because they're so tired and they're so overworked and overwhelmed. So Powerhouse is going to be about shifting how you do business. Like you've already realized you can do business and you can make money, but maybe you didn't think at the beginning about what you wanted your days to be like and how you wanted to feel. And this is about shifting how you do business so that it feels sustainable again and long-term. If you're an entrepreneur who's in a place where every single day, we were talking about this before we started, every single day, you're like, is today the day I shut all of this down and just leave because I'm so burnt out and I'm so sick of it? That's not sustainable. Working at a pace, I had a business owner tell me the other day that their exhaustion, their hustle. And they were like, I can see myself having a heart attack before I hit 50 if I don't change this. That's not sustainable, right? So moving into this model where you can really see like, I could do this for the next 5 years and just be in love with it. And then the next step up is, of course, I work with people privately one-on-one for anywhere from, I have some month-to-month packages. I started those during the pandemic where everyone was like, I don't know where I'm going to be in 30 days. Don't want to commit to anything. But most people work with me for 6 months to a year privately.
That's fantastic. I love that model. And I love that you are intentional with how you help people, because it's not the hamster wheel. And unfortunately, too many people have just been caught up in the lies. So I absolutely love this topic. I love this episode. Just think about it. When you're looking for something on the internet, when you're about to fall for that marketing, is it a burger in a box, or is it an experience that's going to get you to where you want to be? To use the food analogy that we've been talking about for this whole episode. So, Cera, thank you for being here. It was fantastic to have you here. Dive in. As she mentioned, I did put the website on the screen. If you're listening and not watching, everything will be in the show notes that we talked about here. You can go find out how to work with Cera in your business. But if you're not subscribed, what are you doing? Why are you not subscribed and listening to this every single day? We'll see you on the next episode of Harmonious at Lunch. Make sure you subscribe.
Bye.